Hello everyone and welcome back to the Retro Recall. I hope you're doing awesome. Storage. I need more storage. That's right, the Retro Recall has expanded enough through all the videos and all the content that my storage is no longer adequate to be able to store all my files, all my audio files, all of my edited videos, all of my content. I need more storage. So instead of just setting this up in a silo by itself in the background, I know this is not retro, but it has to do with the channel. And I'm really excited to be able to go over this brand new Synology disk station with everybody, see what drives I purchased, and set up our NAS together. So lots to do. Let's get right to it. And we're back, and the very first thing we're going to do is talk about how I came to get this system. So essentially, I thought about many different ways of setting this particular NAS up. Running out of space, constantly swapping files, I needed some redundancy, but I needed to take advantage of a large storage amount. I didn't want to invest a bit of money into, say, 6 terabyte or even, 10 terabyte, 12 terabyte, because to be able to do a RAID 1, for example, you'd have a couple drives, and then, you wanted to do a RAID 5 or RAID 10, you'd have, 4 drives, for example, incrementally increasing costs. So then I started researching and said, well, if I want to start with a certain RAID type, the NAS that you're using, and the RAID controller, you'll be able to expand into a different type of array through different software methods. For example, later down the road, I purchased 2 more drives and want to make a RAID 10, or want to expand the array for more storage, etc., etc. Now, the best one that on the market that I was researching that really gave you a lot of options was the Synology NAS. I was really excited when I found out you could do that through their interface. It gave me a lot more options now versus having to redo everything or have to transfer all the data manually, etc., etc. So, so let's go over the drives real quickly. So I have 2 20 terabyte drives that I'm going to show you today. And they are the Seagate 20 terabyte Iron Wolf Pro NAS drives. These are enterprise class drives, and these are designed for high use. So here we are. We have the Seagate Iron Wolf Pro 20 terabyte and all the regulatory information, etc. on it. It also comes with Seagate Secure, which means that they do offer data recovery services in the event that your RAID fails and you're not able to recover the data. So for 3 years, which I think is pretty darn awesome. Okay, so we have that drive out there, and we'll do the same thing with this one. Pretty uneventful, just opening up a couple drives, but thank you for indulging me on this journey. Okay, and there's our second one there as well. So we have 2 20 terabyte drives, and I plan on setting these up in a RAID 1, which will allow them to mirror, which will allow the data to be written to both drives simultaneously, and if one of the drives fails, I can pop another drive in, and it will automatically rebuild that RAID over to the other one. So that's my plan for now. And as I mentioned earlier, that as time goes by, and if I end up wanting more redundancy, or if I end up having to expand the array, say change it to a RAID 10, for example, where it does the mirroring and striping. That way the RAID 10 will give you super redundancy, of course. But all that said, I wanted to get something that I can expand into later, and the NAS will help us do that. Okay, so I'm going to put these boxes away and open up the NAS next. Synology itself is a really, really good name in the market. And this is not a high-end NAS. I did not need one for what I do and for what I have today. And again, I wanted to really test out the system, test out their disk station manager, which is quite popular, and be able to go on and just take a look at this. In the event that I want to expand, I can invest further capital into expanding this into a much different type of NAS if that's where I want to go. But it says here, disk station DS220j. It's a 2-bay NAS. Your own cloud starts here. An easy-to-use 2-bay personal cloud storage for everyone. It says it contains a 4-core, so quad-core 64-bit processor, 512 megabytes of DDR4 memory, compact, quiet, and energy efficient, and of course powered by DiskStation Manager. And as I mentioned again, I know I can get them quite powerful CPUs and lots of memory in them, and quad Ethernet jacks in the back, but that's not what I'm looking for what I do. When I do a video or when I do all the footage, I can copy data over the network and it won't affect anything on my side. Okay, and again, it just proves the point of best fit for the actual use of what you're trying to do. Okay, let's open up the box. There's nothing else on the box itself, so open up the box and we'll take a look at the NAS. There we are. So we have a little, looks like a quick start guide here. So we'll put that aside for now, and we'll take the NAS itself out as well. And there we are. And we'll undo the contents of the rest of the box too. So it gives us, oh, how nice of them. They offer us a nice Ethernet cable, which is nowhere near long enough that I need to get to where I'm going. And we also have the power cable for the Synology here. Well, I said it's power cable, so there's the adapter there, this power supply and the cable for the power. Anything else? Yep, there's more. We have some screws. Yeah, lots of screws. So no doubt screws for the drives to go in the NAS itself as well. And a couple more screws, an adapter of some sort here as well. So we'll have to figure out that. And I think that is it. Yep, that's it for what's in the box. Okay, we're going to put this aside here and take a look at the quick start guide. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We'll start at number 1, not number 3. All right, number 1. It says here, we're going to prepare for installation. So check Synology for compatible drives. This is fine. Register your product, and for technical support, tells you where to go, plus the warranty, and then tells you how to remove the side here to be able to access the drive area. So I'm going to take the NAS out of this protective cover. Really love the look of this. It's really neat. So let's open that up. There we are. And there is our Synology NAS drive. So on the side here, we have the Synology, and also it acts as ventilation as well. And then we have our fan on the back, 2 USB 3, Ethernet, and power, and a Kensington lock as well. Really neat to have the USB 3 here, because if you want to add additional expansion drives through USB 3, you can, which is really, really handy. And then on the side here, we have what looks like more ventilation. On the bottom, a couple of feet, rubberized, so it's not sliding all over the place. And then on the front, we have a status light, a LAN link light, disk 1 and 2 operation, as well as our power button down here and the model information of the NAS. Okay, we're going to do as it says and just slide the back off, and I can do that because it is currently unscrewed. The 2 screws are in the bag there, so we're going to remove that like so. And there we are, and it allows us access to where the drives need to go. I think that's pretty straightforward to me. Well, the next thing we'll do is see what it says here. We took the side off there, pretty straightforward. And on number 2, it says to put the drives in. So it does indicate there, if you do want to use a 2.5-inch drive, so like a smaller type drive or solid state drives, etc., to purchase so it says here, the 2.5-inch disc holder is not included in the accessory pack and should be purchased separately. We don't have that. We have the 3.5-inch drive, so we're good there. Then it says to be able to slide the drives in and just screw in the 4 drives into the side here. So we're going to do that right now, and we're going to jump cut right to the end here. Okay, here we are. We have the drives mounted, and my goodness, has ever had a lot of weight to that. So the drives are mounted in the NAS, no problem, but I want to add in, I did add in that extra bracket. So I wasn't exactly sure what it did until actually once I saw it, and it makes total sense for the support of the back end of the drive. I mean, you don't have to, it comes with the 4 screws here, but I like having that extra support. If it comes with it, why not utilize it? And the other thing I like is these rubber grommets around the NAS itself in terms of the drive. You know, it kind of allows it allowed some shock absorption to go on here, so in case there's any movement in the NAS itself. And in the back here, we have the fan that's all screwed in here and plugged into the board and allows adequate cooling for the drives. The Iron Wolf Pro series from Seagate, pretty darn awesome. Pretty high-end drives. Okay, I'm going to pop this on now, like so. There's nothing else more to do inside the NAS itself. We have that on there now, which is pretty cool. And we'll put in the screws as well. I love how they just give everything you need for it. And they even gave me some extra screws too, which is really nice. Okay, we'll just put in these 2 screws here. I mean, it's pretty straightforward installation. I mean, another nice thing about this, I mean, I've used some NAS equipment back in the day, and they're not always as user-friendly. So far, so good, I would say. And I just love the ability to hook up the USB 3 if required. I think that makes a world of difference. In case, you know, if I run into a problem where I need to add additional space and I don't want to upgrade an array right away, I'll be able to do it that way. It looks pretty clean too. Okay, that's done. We have the screws in. Let me just put those aside. Now we're going to switch over to plugging the power in here. Pretty straightforward, nothing fancy. We'll open that up. And over here, we also have the power adapter, similar to that of like a laptop power adapter. It works just well, except we have the bigger connection here for this. Okay, with that, we will plug that in to the power bar. And on the back, we're going to plug that into the power. We'll plug the Ethernet in as well. And that's just looped in over to one of my routers there, or one of my switches. We have that in there. We don't have anything turned on yet. Okay, so we have the NAS put together. The 2 drives are in there. I'm showing power on the power bar. Let's open this up again and see what we have. We've done all these quick start steps already. So as you can see, we connected everything on, and now it says to load up the computer, browse to find.synology.com. So to do that, I'm going to be utilizing, and you guys have seen this on the channel already, I'm using my Dell Precision laptop that everyone seemed to love, and quite frankly, I love this machine as well. It's just a really well-built machine. Okay, we're at the desktop here, and we're going to open up a browser. So we'll open up Chrome. We're going to hit the power button, turn it on, and we're going to find.synology.com. So here it is loading up the Synology Web Assistant, searching for Synology devices. Okay, so it found our NAS. It says use Web Assistant to locate your Synology device in the network. Synology collects this data below. The information will be deleted upon completing DSM, so Disk Station Manager installation. That's totally fine. So there it is, detected everything, and we'll click on Connect. And yes, I've read all the end user license agreement and our privacy statement, absolutely. And it says, welcome, set up your Synology DS220j now. So click on device info and it tells you all the information. So the serial number, the IP address it's currently connected to, the model, etc. We're going to click on setup. And it says here, so it says, install the latest DSM for new features and security features. Install now. Absolutely. All data on the hard disk 1 and 2 will be removed during installation. Are you sure you want to proceed? Yep, no problem. We have brand new drives. We're good to go. So now it's installing and updating to the newest Disk Station Manager, which also, to my understanding, updates all the software on, or the firmware on the system. So it's important to have that as part of this process. Okay, and we're ready. It says, welcome to DSM, so Disk Station Manager 7.2. Next generation data management begins here. Thanks, Synology. Let's start. Get started with your Synology NAS. Name your Synology NAS and create an administrator account. Use this account to sign in to Synology NAS. Set a strong password that will be hard for others to guess. Okay, I have it all set up here. So we have primary NAS as the device name, and then we have TheRetroRecall as the administrator account. Then we have our strong password. Allow the Synology NAS to be displayed in Web Assistant. Yes. Select an update option for your Synology NAS. Select what to do when there's DSM and package updates available. Automatically install important DSM package updates only, recommended. Install updates and package updates, or notify me when they're available. You know what? We'll go with the recommended option to automatically update the software. It says create a Synology account to receive more benefits. Okay, now that the account's all set up, it says access your Synology NAS from anywhere. Set up Quick Connect ID to access your Synology NAS via the internet. Quick Connect is a free service that lets you access your Synology NAS via secure custom address and access media or files from any device. Okay, now that the remote account's all been set up, it brings me to this: explore other useful tools. These tools will help manage your devices simply and effortlessly. Again, please read the terms of service privacy statement before using the services. So we have around-the-clock monitoring and protection, a cloud service that expedites technical support processes, monitors the health of all your Synology NAS, and provides you with troubleshooting steps upon abnormalities. After enabling the service, please sign in the web portal to check out the details. Okay, we'll enable it, no problem. And then DSM configuration backup. Regularly backing up your system settings will allow you to quickly set up a new device or restore settings to a new or existing device. That's critical if I want to, say, upgrade this to a 4-bay or an 8-bay. Then this allows you to automatically do it very seamlessly through their web interface or the transition software, the migration software. Okay, now that the account is all set up and all my information's entered, it says here, create storage pool and volume. Create a storage pool and volume to start installing packages and storing files on your Synology NAS. We'll create now. Before data can be stored on your Synology NAS, please create at least one volume and storage pool. Follow the wizard to start creating a storage pool and volume. Okay, the RAID type SHR. So RAID is a data storage virtualization technology that aggregates multiple drives into a storage pool. SHR is Synology's RAID technology. So it says minimum drives is 1, default tolerance is 1 for storage pools comprised at least of 2 drives. This is the recommended RAID type for beginners. Choosing this type allows you to combine drives of different sizes in the future to optimize volume size and ensure data redundancy. The alternative is, like I had mentioned, was RAID 1, which is RAID 1 is most often implemented with 2 drives, which we have. Data on the drives are mirrored, providing fault tolerance in case of drive failure. Read performance is increased, while write performance is similar to that of a single drive. A single drive failure can be sustained without data loss. RAID 1 is often used when fault tolerance is key, while capacity and performance are not critical requirements, which they aren't. Please note that the capacity of a RAID 1 storage pool cannot be expanded by adding drives. So this is what I was referring to earlier. Even though it says, hey, you know, this is for beginners, I'll be honest, this is probably the best method that we're going to use, because specifically SHR allows us to be able to expand additional drives in the future. And that's going to be key for us in what we want to do here. We have the total capacity of 18.6 gig, and then available is the same idea. And then you can go in and modify. We're going to put the maximum in there. That's fine. We'll hit next. Oh, sorry, we'll hit max, sorry, and the next. So drive volume description, we're just going to put the TheRetroRecall. And there we are. So our storage pool is our RAID type is SHR, which is SATA HDD, drive 1 and drive 2, 18 gig. Volume is 18 gig. The TheRetroRecall ext4 is the file system. We'll hit apply. All the data on the newly added drive will be erased. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, we do. And you can see the drives are accessing and definitely making lots of chonky noises here. Okay, so we have a couple of notifications on the right here, which we'll go through. It says, take a quick tour. Everything to help you get started right away. Well, we're already started. We'll hit X on that for now. You can go to DSM help later to learn more usage tips and information about DSM. That's fine. Notification setup. Enabling notifications allows your Synology NAS to notify you when specific events occur, such as system errors, network connection loss, abnormal fan behavior, power failure, and backup task failure. Okay, now that we have all of that set up for us, we now have the notification. So if there's any issues with the system itself, it will automatically send me an email on my phone or notify me on the Synology app, which allows me to be notified if there's an issue, if it detects a problem with the drive, a file, the fan, the hardware. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I've used different NASs in the past, and this is arguably an entry-level NAS it's working quite well and gives you all the feature sets that a larger NAS would do. Minus, of course, if I wanted to hook up, 4 drives or 8 drives, depending on what I'm trying to do. So, kudos to Synology for allowing, even an entry-level user to be able to do this. So it says here, system health is healthy. Your Synology NAS is working well. So it gives me all the information there, the LAN, the uptime, all those good things. And then resource monitor. So it shows our CPU and RAM. And of course, I would love to have more memory for more data transfer and more multitasking, of course. But you know what? Future NAS or Synology, if you're watching this video, happy to accept something on the channel to go through and review. Okay, so what we're going to do in the control panel, we're going to create a shared folder. So basically allowing us to share data to this or put data to the drive, which is the whole purpose of what we're trying to do here. So we're going to name the folder or name the share here. So the Retro Recall, and description is going to be file storage. Location, that's fine. And we're not hiding it anywhere. We're not going to hide subfolders because we're on the network here behind the firewall. Enable recycle bin, yes. Restrict access to administrators only, that's fine. So in case you delete it, then you're able to recover it as a min. So it says enable additional security measures. So protect the shared folder by encrypting it or skip. We'll skip for now. So in here, you're actually able to set up different users. So if I wanted to give, say if I had some videos on here, say some educational videos, or I had some files backed up from a friend of mine that wanted to access the NAS or access the data, I'm able to go in here and give them a specific account and give them access to certain files through here, which is pretty darn cool. So now that we know everything is working well, we're going to click on our File Explorer and we're going to go to this PC. And under this PC, we're going to right click and go to add network location because I want to actually add in the NAS, right? Because I'm going to be storing data onto the NAS. So the address is / primary NAS / TheRetroRecall. So now it's asking me for network credentials to that particular folder. Because remember, we created a file share called TheRetroRecall, and the network address of this on the local network is primary NAS. The network name. So we're going to click on this and under username, TheRetroRecall, if I can spell, and my password. Okay, we'll hit next on that. So there we are. We are going to create a new folder and we'll call it the TheRetroRecall Backup. And so all the files will go here. So there we are. We have it created on the network. And if we go into the home screen here under File Station, we now should be able to see that new folder, and here we are. I can access it directly from the NAS. I can utilize my cell phone using the app to access the files now. That's a whole other setup, but it allows me to do that. And because I've networked this on the network, I'm able to access the network drive remotely on any of the PCs I have on the network. So I just tidy this away somewhere in a nice corner and go from there. And I can't get over the clunking and the loud and how robust the NAS drives sound compared to a regular drive. It's just absolutely crazy. It's pretty awesome, as I mentioned earlier, that they allow us to as an entry level or end user here, they allow us specifically to be able to utilize the same applications that would be on, say, a much more expensive NAS. And that's really nice about Synology to be able to do that for us. Much needed for the TheRetroRecall. Again, swapping between external drives, not having the redundancy that I required. Now I'm going to very easily copy all the data through the network to this beautiful NAS and get this all set up. So overall, very, very happy with this. And there we have it, everyone. We have the brand new Synology DS220j all set up with 20 terabytes in a RAID 1 or mirror type format. We're using the SHR feature set from Synology, but again, that essentially allows us to have that RAID 1 performance, RAID 1 type configuration, while having the ability in a future state to be able to migrate this data and expand drives to that array. I think this is a beautiful NAS. I highly recommend it from my point of view. I've used different NASs over the years, and this is something that I'm very, very impressed with the interface, very impressed with to be able to remote log in, the security features, the 2FA authentication they allow you to have here. I think it's absolutely great. And yeah, I would definitely recommend this to others, and really excited to have this as part of the Retro Recall to store all of our files and add some redundancy to all the hard work that goes into this channel. That said, if you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It makes a world of difference for the channel and helps the channel grow. So thank you to all my supporters. Hit the notification button, change it to all. You'll be notified of new content such as this. Please leave a comment down below. Do you own a Synology NAS? Do you have a different type of NAS? What type of configurations do you have? I'd love to hear about it down in the comments, and I respond to absolutely every one of them. Always making new content. Again, thank you to all my supporters. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.